Hey, this is Creative Senpai aka Rhythm, and in this video I'll be showing you how I made this inside Blender. It's kind of easy than you think, so make sure to stick around till the end. Okay, so let's add in a cube. Now in the modifiers tab, let's add in an ocean modifier. If I hit play now, nothing really happens because we need to animate the time first. So we could obviously keyframe it, but I prefer using a driver. So let's type in hashtag frame slash. Let's go with 50 first. If I hit play, it does the job, but it is kind of slow. So let's change this to maybe around 35. Perfect. Now you could see there are two types of resolution, one's for the viewport and another one's for the render. I highly recommend you keep the viewport resolution as light as possible, so around 7 it's fine. The render, you could obviously crank this way up. This obviously depends on your PC spec, so keep that in mind. The wave section, let's change the scale to maybe around 2.5. The smallest wave will smooth out the mesh, so let's keep that to 0. The choppiness is how sharp your wave is. So let's keep it so that it doesn't really intersect with the mesh. Perfect. Let's enable foam, and in the data layer, let's type in foam. This will be useful later on. Let the coverage be at 0. Increasing coverage means more foam, but 0 is honestly fine. Now let's duplicate this along X, and I'll hold on to Control and snap it along the grid. Now in this section, let's repeat the Y, and if I try to repeat it on X, it overlaps on the other mesh, so which we really don't want, so I'll just undo this. Instead, let's duplicate this again, this time on the Y-axis, holding down Control again to snap it. If I hit play now, it blends seamlessly, right? Now for the camera, let's move around the viewport until I get a decent view. This seems fine, so I'll just hit Ctrl-Alt-0 to snap the camera to view. Now in the camera settings, I'll just change the focal length to maybe around 24, which gives us a wider field of view. In the composition guides, I also enable rule of thirds, which will help me to frame the camera better. I'm using RR shortcut RR to activate gimbal rotation. So if I hit play now, you could see it moving properly. One thing I would like to do is let's change this render resolution around 30, because this will be far away from the camera, so we don't really need that much of resolution. It will also keep the render light. Now if we want the camera to have that up and down kind of motion, we need to add in a plane first, so let's do it. Let's move it a bit high so you could see it. In edit mode, I'll just subdivide it maybe 2 or 3 times. Now in top view, I'll just move it where the camera is approximately, and now I'll just add in a Shrinkwrap modifier over it. Select the target to this. Now if I hit play, this works perfectly. While I'm at it, it's really a good habit to rename your mesh. So let's do that. Now, if I want the camera to move along with it, I will have to select this and go to constraints and add in a copy location. Now let's select the target to this camera plane. If it's difficult to select it from here, we could obviously select the drop down menu and select it from here. Now if I hit play, it doesn't really move with it. Why? Because we haven't assigned a vertex group to it. So let's select the camera plane. I'll hit tab to go into edit mode. Now in the data properties, I'll just go and add a vertex group. Let's call this camera location. Also assign it. Now I'll go back to the constants tab and add in the vertex group. If I hit play now, see it moves, but it is under the plane, which is a problem. So let's enable offset. This will allow us to place the camera wherever we like, regardless of the movement. So let's go to top view. And now let's move the camera around here. If I hit play now, see, it really does the job. You can find a boat model on Sketchfab or CG Trader. I found this on Fab, so I'll be using this. Link will be in the description. Okay, so let's add in our model. Let's move it to a new collection. I'll name it Trawler. We'll also add in an empty. Let's scale it up. And also let's move it up. There we go. Now let's select this trawler collection and right click and select objects. This will select everything under the collection. And now let's shift select this empty and I'll hit Ctrl P to parent it. Okay, so now I'll do the same thing I did with the camera. So let's select this plane right over here and shift D to duplicate it. This view doesn't work, so let's try this. Maybe around here. And I'll select this and go to constraint and select copy location. Select the target as the camera plane we just created. Vertex group, select this. If I hit play now, you could see it moves, but it is kind of jerky, right? In a YouTube video made by Blender Made Easy, he really speaks about how this camera plane right over here, you could see if I hit play, the vertices are all over the place. It stretches crazy. This is the reason for the shakiness and the jerkness. So let's fix this. I'll just select the plane and go to the Shrinkwrap method option right over here. I'll change this to project. And I'll also enable negative. Let's play now. It moves perfectly, right? Shout out to him, by the way. Okay, so let's do the same with this camera plane right over here. Obviously, I can also offset it if I want. Let's offset it like this. Let's move it down a bit. One thing that is missing now, it's the rotation. So in order to add rotation, I'll just select this again and add a copy rotation constraint. Select the target, same as the camera plane. Select the vertex group. You could see it's flipped. I'll just disable the Z, and there you go. If you feel like it's wobbling a bit much, so you could always reduce the influence. Let's maybe try 0.3. Yeah, 0.3 looks good. You could obviously tinker with it. Now I'll be adding keyframes. This is just basic keyframing, so I'll be fast forwarding it. Just putting keyframes on the first and the last frame. And also let's play with the offset so that everything's in the right place. One thing I've noticed is the choppiness. There we can see the mesh is intersecting, so let's go and reduce the choppiness a bit. We'll also do the same for the others. Okay, time to light up our scene now. So let's go to rendered view. By the way, I'm using cycles with a maximum samples of 200. We could see there's some light over here. This is created by our world HDRI. So let's decrease its strength all the way to 0. Now let's add in an HDRI. I'll use the Polyhaven add-on. I highly recommend you to get this add-on. You could also visit their website and download it, but this really speeds up the process so much, so I highly recommend you to get this if you can. Let's search for something overcast. I like this one. This is cloudy. Let's bring that in. Let's change the rotation. Let's change it to around here. You could see this horizon over here, so let's fix that. Let's go to shader editor. I'll go to world and I'll go inside this, and in the mapping let's change our Z location a bit so that it could hide that. Now time to add some shaders to our water. I'll select this and change this to object. I'll hit new. Now let's change our transmission all the way to 1 and roughness something closer to 0. In real life, nothing has a roughness value of absolute 0, so something closer to 0 should be fine. Also, let's change the IOR to 1.333, which is the IOR of water. Let's also change our base color to black. Duplicate this. I'll select this and hit backspace to reset this node. Mind it, this will be used for controlling our foam color. Now use a mix shader over here. Put this into this socket, and for the factor, you remember we used this foam data layer over here, so let's bring that in. I'll bring in an attribute node. In the name section, let's copy this. I will be bringing in a color ramp and also a multiply node. I'll connect this factor from here to here, value to factor, and color to this factor. Let's also select this 2 over here and shift select this, and I'll hit Ctrl L and link materials. In order to view our foam properly, let's select this. In the resolution viewport, let's increase that to 50. You could see our foam. In order to control our foam, we could obviously play with our color ramp and also our multiply values to how much foam you want. This scene is too bright, so let's also decrease the world strength. So in order to get that cinematic look, let's add our secret sauce, which will be a volume. So let's bring in a cube. I'll just scale it till it fills the camera. Now go to object, then viewport display, and I'll change this to display as bounce. Let's add a new shader. I'll just delete this and I'll bring in volume scatter. Let's decrease our density to maybe around 0.03 and anisotropy, let's say 0.75. Yeah, this looks good. We could obviously change the strength from here if we see it's getting too dark. Now I'll be adding some lights. So let's select this. Let's add in another slot. Now I'll go to edit mode. Let's make sure to select faces. Now I'll just assign this material over here. Let's zoom in. There you go. Let's do this for these two, this one and this. Right. Now if I increase the emission, you could see the lights glow. Let's try 500. Perfect. Let's give it something saturated, like this yellow over here. Finally, before hitting render, make sure that you disable these camera planes from here. Also, let's tweak our camera a bit. Select this. I'll go to camera settings and then let's enable depth of field. Focus on object, let's say hull, and then let's change f-stop to maybe around 0.2. I've also added this subtle fog glow for the lights over here in the compositor section. Now just hit render and you're done. If you enjoyed the video or learned a thing or two, like this video and also a sub to the channel will be really appreciated. So I'll be seeing you in the next one.